This is Autoline Daily, the show dedicated to enthusiasts of the global automotive industry. Whoa, didn't expect this. General Motors is killing off the Ultium brand and is getting rid of its one-type-fits-all battery pack. Moving forward, it's going to use different types of battery chemistries, a variety of shapes and cells, and different ways to package them. The head of batteries, Kurt Kelty, a former Tesla executive that GM hired earlier this year, told Bloomberg that it's able to develop more batteries thanks to 2 new battery labs that it opened. Kelty says GM can now develop new batteries and get them into production in about 18 months, which is a year faster than before. In addition to that, he says GM's next-gen batteries will have less parts, weight, and cost. But we'll learn more about GM's battery strategy at an investor day later today. It's almost starting to feel like the contract negotiations from a year ago to me, where something new is happening every day. Stellantis revealed that it not only filed 1 lawsuit against the UAW to prevent a strike at a parts center in LA, but 8 additional lawsuits against the union and 23 local chapters. As you might expect, the company says those 8 additional lawsuits prompted a meeting with the UAW, at which time it claims the union proposed giving full pay to workers that were temporarily laid off when it idled its Belvidere plant, which would also include 900 employees that have already transferred from Belvidere and are working at other locations. Stellantis claims this is like the jobs bank that started in the mid-1980s and was a contributing factor to Chrysler's bankruptcy in 2009. It says the new proposal would put the company's future in jeopardy, so that's why it filed the new lawsuits. The UAW disputed those claims, calling them a false comparison. Stellantis says it remains available to speak with the union about these issues, but also added, quote, "If necessary, the company intends to see this litigation through to conclusion and will hold the UAW and its locals responsible for lost revenue, which could amount to tens of millions a day and other damages resulting from lost production due to an unlawful strike," end quote. Plug-in hybrids, or PHEVs, have been hailed as the perfect bridge technology between ICE and pure electric, but they're just not catching on in the U.S. yet. According to J.D. Power, despite more models being available to customers than regular hybrids, the market share of PHEVs in the U.S. is less than 2%, compared to 10.7% for hybrids and 9.4% for BEVs. It cites price as part of the problem. The average price a customer paid for a plug-in compact SUV this year was nearly $49,000, and that includes any discounts like the EV tax credit. A similar hybrid that doesn't get any EV tax credits was $11,000 less, and a comparable BEV was even less than that at roughly $37,000. And even when a manufacturer gets a customer to buy one of their PHEVs, they're not as satisfied with their purchase as someone who buys a BEV. Let us know your thoughts about plug-ins in the comments, and also, do you think that extended range electrics or EREVs will take over as the perfect bridge technology? As expected, China is preparing to retaliate against the EU's new tariffs it just imposed on Chinese-made EVs. China's Ministry of Commerce released a statement saying that it's looking at raising tariffs on imported vehicles with large engines and that it's going to start collecting duties on brandy from Europe. The tariff on vehicles with large engines will hit the German automakers the hardest. Last year, export of German vehicles to China with engines 2.5 liters or larger totaled $1.2 billion. And this all stems from EU countries voting last week in favor of raising tariffs on Chinese-made EVs to as high as 45%. But the EU and China are negotiating a deal to avoid those tariffs before they go into effect next month. So there's still hope a trade war can be avoided.
Making a life full of memories, one road trip at a time. That's what really matters. Bridgestone Weather Peak tires with a 70,000-mile limited warranty.
German auto supplier Continental is getting closer to spinning off its automotive business. Bloomberg reports that the company has hired JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs to help it restructure. Continental plans to keep its tire business and ContiTech, which specializes in active safety and vehicle networking technology. The part that would be spun off makes brakes, chassis parts, and other components. Its auto business employs 100,000 people and generates 20 billion euros a year in sales. But it's struggling due to weaker than expected new car sales and higher investment costs. Last month, BMW, Ford, and Honda launched a new EV charging joint venture in the US called ChargeScape, and now Nissan is joining the JV and will become an equal 25% investor in the company. ChargeScape isn't for public EV chargers. Instead, it's for bi-directional charging to make the grid more efficient. Cars will automatically charge when demand for electricity is low and will feed electricity back into the grid when it's high. Car owners can earn money by selling that electricity back into the grid, and they can specify at which time of day they want their car fully charged, so it's ready when they need it. In February, we had Larry Burns on Autoline After Hours. He was previously head of R&D at General Motors, where he was part of a team that developed the very first skateboard architecture and also led groundbreaking work in autonomy and fuel cells. During that show, Larry envisioned a hydrogen future where canisters could be delivered to your house not only to power your car, but also parts of your home as well. And that's almost exactly what Toyota just debuted at the Japan Mobility Show. It developed portable cartridges that are small enough to lift by hand, but still carry a decent amount of hydrogen. These could then plug into a special port on your car or be used in a hydrogen-powered cooker. I'm sure you could come up with a bunch of other applications for hydrogen cartridges as well. And if Larry Burns is right, they'll be delivered with your next Amazon order. EV startup Lucid Motors set a record for deliveries in the third quarter. It delivered 2,781 Air sedans, up 91% compared to a year ago. It's the third straight quarter of record deliveries for the company. Its production rose 16% in the third quarter to 1,805 vehicles, which means it relied on inventory to boost deliveries and incentives as well. The model starts at $71,400, but according to Motor Intelligence, Lucid offered up to $19,400 off the Air sedan, an increase of 28% in incentives. Through the first 9 months of the year, Lucid has delivered more than 7,100 vehicles, which puts it ahead of its target to make and sell 9,000 vehicles this year. And could Chevy run into the same pricing problem as Lucid? It revealed that the retail version of the Silverado EV will start just over $75,000, including destination charges, but before any incentives. The commercial version, called the Work Truck or WT, starts at just over $57,000. Both have best-in-class available ranges of 460 and 492 miles respectively, but so far, the market has shown there's not a ton of demand for higher-priced electric trucks. And that brings us to the end of today's show. Thanks for making Autoline a part of your day.
Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone, solutions for your journey. Intrepid Control Systems, over-the-air engineering boost your game. Teijin Automotive Technologies, the formula for better mobility. And by ZF.
There's nothing wrong with heavy metal.
Hey, lighten up.
But with world-class composite material, Teijin Automotive Technologies makes vehicles lighter, safer, and more eco-friendly.
Hi, I'm Don Hatfield from Intrepid Control Systems, and I'm presenting the wireless BMS solution from Intrepid Control Systems. Come and see us and this demo at booth 1201 at the battery show. And also Analog Devices will be there as well. We'd be happy to talk to you and help you with your solution.